Find the kind people. My whole life, I started with a stutter. It's been a particular challenge from my teenagers to early adulthood and as an adult. I'm sure many of you have seen someone who stutters, and the truth is that what you hear is only the top layer of what's happening. For someone who stutters, there is also fear ahead of time. There is a stress in the middle of it when a block is happening. So something that's maybe really so simple for a normal fluent kid, like a bar mitzvah speech. And for sure, everyone who gives a speech in public has a fear of public speaking. But for me, I do feel also that in front of the 200 guests that I was speaking to, I would have a heavy block, and I feared ahead of time. For so many months, I was scared that I would have to repeat a sentence a few times, that I would have to stumble on some sound in the middle of my speech, and that everyone will laugh at me, and that I'd be humiliated in front of all the guests, or that everyone will look at me with judging eyes, or even that after the fact I may be yelled at for not performing and giving the speech as I was supposed to. But having a stutter is also a bit like being in the world behind soundproof glass. When you hear everyone, but they can't hear you, and you know in your head it's all really clear. Let's say, like all the words that you want to say, but it doesn't come out the way that you wish. So something like a phone call. I was in high school. I moved to Israel and lived in a dormitory. And to connect to my parents who lived in Switzerland, we had payphones, and I had an access card to call from Israel on the payphone to home to Switzerland. And I had to call the access number and speak to the person on the other line, give them my card number and the phone number that I wanted to reach. So one time I stood in line. I was very lonely, and I did the whole line. I got to the phone. I connected to that person, and I tried as every other day to tell them the phone number and the access cards, and no sound would come out. And I'm starting to breathe, and I push inside my lungs to have a sound come out, but no sound is coming out. And I can hear on the other side of the line. I can hear hello, but no sound is coming out. And at the end, I just hang up the phone. I did not make the phone call, and that's a time when I really felt really disconnected, and I felt stupid a bit, because it's something that is so simple that I couldn't do, and most of all I felt disconnected, and it did not get any better with time. In that summer, I had a summer break. I like to play tennis with a friend, and I called him on a Sunday afternoon. I could hear his voice, and I don't know if he knew it was me, but again, it was particularly in the beginning of the phone call that I would have the most challenge. And again, no sound came out, and I hung up the phone. I was really upset again. I missed an opportunity just because of this stutter. And to anyone who asked, I was too ashamed to even say it because I couldn't talk to him. So I said, yeah, I couldn't reach him, and that's why I'm not playing. So after a while, after lots of hard looks from people every time I stumbled, and the physical strain in my lungs every time I blocked, I decided that possibly the solution is simply to stay silent. And I thought I'd be okay. So I thought I don't have to participate in class, and I can still have a test in writing and do okay. And I could read books if I'm bored, and I don't have to see friends. I can stay home on a Saturday night and not go out with friends. And in some way, it was easier at first. I just ignored everyone. I closed it to myself, but I also felt less into this world. I did not care about things were around me. I didn't connect to people, and I started to challenge myself. And I realized that I was really having a loss of a part of me. And not only that, the truth is that from all those hard looks, from all those judging looks from people, I gave in, and I gave those people who didn't really care about me. I let them challenge me, and be somebody else. But what happened after that is incredible. A year after that, I found a kind person. His name was Eli from South Africa. He was also in my high school, and we started to learn together every morning for 3 hours as a preparation to the class that was given every day in the early afternoon. And with Eli himself, he was the kindest guy I ever met. His biggest source of joy in general was to make someone happy. He was extremely patient and easygoing, and with him, of course, I stuttered, and of course, I stumbled on some words, but it did not matter. If I did, he simply waited, and he told me, "It's okay. I want to hear you." And when it comes out, it's I'll hear it then. And it was the first time that for my speech, I wasn't being judged for it. I wasn't being told that it's my fault that I'm speaking too fast or not breathing well or whatever it is that everyone thinks to give advice on. It was not. I was simply accepted. And Eli, with his kindness, he gave me the strength to reopen. He gave me the strength to not be scared again, and to know that there are a few people that I can speak to, and that even though I stumble, it will be okay. And with all that, it gave me also strength to actually work on it and look for a solution. And it wasn't so simple. And I tried a few therapies for my speech, and it's only after the third time, years after that I found a program that really fits for me, that fits my stutter. And I went there for 3 weeks, every day intensive program, and at first it was scary because of the realization when I saw the other young kids were with me. It made me scared that this is how I sound, and it was difficult. But we all worked on it together for 2 weeks, and for 2 weeks we learned a technique, and it was worked on a very slow speech. But on the third week we applied it to everyday speech for the first time, and we went outside in the street of Jerusalem to to practice it. And I remember going to the street and asking people for directions when I knew where the stuff were better than them. But it was a way to try it and to work on this technique. And it was really great for a few years. And really it was everything at the start from Ellie was a kind person to me. After that, it's not life is always complicated. I moved to Baltimore, and I moved after it to Toronto, and with it new challenges, new mentality. My English was really poor at the time. I have a heavy French accent, and on top of the stutter that was slowly coming back, which I think was a result of the change from speaking Hebrew to English. I was also judged for my accent, and for a few years I started to feel different and disconnected. But I knew the solution. I knew already. I've done it once. I have to find again. I have to find the kind person. And one day I was lucky enough to meet my future wife, Mushka. And it was in New York City, and we stumbled into each other. I lived in Toronto. She lived in Los Angeles. We stumbled into each other for minutes, and we recognized each other that we knew from 10 years ago. On some vacation. On some vacation time in Italy, and I liked her a lot. So I thought, you know what, I'll give it a try. And I found her on Facebook, so we started to chat on Messenger at the time. And it was easy. It was all chat and everything. And I really liked her. I found her very kind, very calm, and I felt a strange connection to her, as if I was home. So then we decided to have a phone call. And to me, there was a really strange part, because the phone call is the first time that we really have a real conversation, and it's a hit or miss. And I did not want to mess it up. And I thought if I stumble on my words again, maybe she'll hear it and she'll be scared or something like this. And being that she lived in Los Angeles, it was 3 hours behind, and she had a busy day. She couldn't talk until 8 p.m. her time, which was 11 for me. And by that time, I was already at the end of my day. I was very tired, and my speech was not as good as it is in the middle of the day. So I actually told her, you know, like sometimes I stutter, and it's not a big deal, and it happens a bit. But as well as, you know what, if we ever talk, let's talk in the afternoon or something like that. She told me, no, you know, I want to see all of you. I'm interested, and I don't mind it. And I was really scared, because it's nice to hear that, but you know, at the end, who knows what's going to be. And I called her, and honestly, I don't recall. I'm sure I stuttered a little bit. I don't remember anything like specific details on that. But what I know it says that she was really kind to me, and she accepted me with all of that, and she brought me up, because this is what the kind person does. Is patient. He brings you up. He wants to make everyone happy around him. And after so many years in Toronto, when I felt anxiety every day, I had hard time to wake up in the morning. I would stay in bed in some cases for an hour and a half when I woke up, and not because I was lazy, but because I was so scared to face the world. I was so lonely, and I felt that every day was a challenge that I had to go and fight the world every day. Mushka, she gave me the kindness again. She was kind to me, and she gave me strength again. So this is my message for anyone who has any particular challenge, for any child who stutters or anything. Find the kind person. Find the person that has the patience for you. The one who doesn't look at the first impression, but look for the whole you, and who accepts you with all of you. And if you found it, really grow from it and take all the strengths for yourself. And if you're in a good place yourself, you should be the kind person. And in nowadays, when with COVID-19, everybody feels so disconnected. This is a time when a simple word, it's okay, I'm here for you. It's being kind. Who knows what kind of difference can you do with being kind? So find the kind people and be the kind people.